And for me, that's the most important time the most crucial time to work harder. Because once you hit the wall, that's the time you should work the hardest to get out of that stage. Because if you don't, you're going to stay there for a very long time.
Many people see exercise as a form of release when they're facing difficult circumstances. So is this something that you can relate to?
Yes, I can. I guess I can deeply relate to it. So quite a long time ago, I'll tell you a very short story. So during my transitioning from finishing my undergraduate to master's, and then after finishing my master's to obviously now doing a full-time job, I had quite a difficult time. Many could say I was moderately depressed, but it's something that I didn't really want to sort of get used to, the idea of being depressed and being stuck in that state. So the one thing that kept me going and has always kept me going is fitness. Fitness almost, it's like, for me, I would probably call it a drug. It's like a drug. So like you forget about all your problems during that, hour slot or even 2 hour slots of exercise. And then after that, you can then feel good and then I guess go back to however state you were. But it does take away quite a lot of pain. It sort of empowers you within your own self. So like often enough, what I tend to advise people is try not to compete against anyone. The competition is ultimately you. You have your own goal. You know what you want to look like in the next few years or in the next month or whatever. So you should never ever compare yourself to anyone. So that way you're always in control of yourself. Physiologically, we are all different. It doesn't matter if we're the same race or whatever. Physiologically, each individual is different. And for you to compete against someone that's nowhere near the same categories as your physiological state, yeah, for me it's crazy. Patience is quite important. When you look at body transformations, you have to be very patient. I mean, on average, it takes 6 weeks to see a significant result, and I'm not talking about like a huge physiological change in your physique. 6 weeks to see like the very minimal. So you can imagine how long it would take to see a very a bigger change. And you need to remember, a tree doesn't grow overnight. It takes a long time. And it comes back to the whole making sure you're not competing against anyone. Remember, it's your aim, it's your goal. Just stick to it and enjoy it.
Do you think that you've followed that own advice in your life, having built a career around motivating other people?
I have, yes, I have. I guess my ultimate aim or my ultimate goal is to motivate people through my fitness stuff on a higher scale. So I'm nowhere near my goal yet, but I know it's such a long-term goal that I'm doing everything I can to ensure that I get there. It is frustrating at times, obviously through social media, because obviously you want everything you put out there to be seen, but obviously that can't happen. So that goes out of control. So I do the best I can to provide quality content and also make sure I follow the right safety procedures around it as well. My uncle gave me this advice when I first went into university, right? My undergrad. And the stuff he said to me was like, work hard and play harder. Okay, so I've used that principle pretty much in everything I do. Remembering it's good to be focused, but if you're too focused and there's no fun aspects around it, you are gonna lose focus and you're just gonna go crazy, So remembering to keep focused on your goal, but at the same time have fun. There has to be a fun element to everything we do.
And do you think the people around you contribute to that drive to work harder?
That's quite difficult actually, because if you look at my family background, I'm pretty much the only fitness enthusiast. Growing up, I was always I did athletics, and then from athletics, I played rugby. And then so these are the stuff that I had to drive myself to do, because growing up, my parents never took me to any rugby matches or rugby practices. I was the one to cycle in the freezing cold to make sure I made them practices and make sure I made them games, because I know what I wanted for myself. They have their goals, I have mine, but it's up to me to chase my goals. If I was to sort of relax and let them take control, and I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be where I am today. The one thing I do like about myself is that I'm quite creative. So I could use a piece of string and create something incredible out of it. It's just how my mind works, you know? So like being in this pandemic and having gyms closed or whatever, it didn't really stop me. I would say it gave me a different aspect to my life that was there, but I was just forced to use it this time. Yeah, so there are tons of you know, alternatives that you could do right now. And I guess people tend to use the excuse, okay, we're in a pandemic and gyms are closed, so therefore my life is over. It doesn't work like that, because remember, the gyms will be open tomorrow and it will take you a lot longer to get back to where you were before.
Was there ever a time where you almost gave up, where you were really like, I can't do it, I'm done?
Yes, that happens quite often that you can think. So I get what I call a hitting the wall phase every now and then. I'll probably say every 3 months or so, that you feel like you just burnt out. And for me, that's the most important time the most crucial time to work harder, because once you hit the wall, that's the time you should work the hardest to get out of that stage. Because if you don't, you're gonna stay there for a very long time. The one strategy that normally helps me get out of those phases are watching other people's work, being inspired by other people, because you need to remember, you know, this planet is for everyone, and there's creativity in every aspect you look. I'm not just talking about just looking at fitness work. I could look at a makeup video, tutorial video, and get inspirations from that video to do whatever, you know, content I want to produce. Look within you. What do you like the most? What is it that drives you up every single morning? You know, just do those stuff, because that's the stuff that will take you far. Don't be afraid to have fun with it. It's really key. Fun. There's different elements of fun you could add to your daily routine, but you just have to make sure it's added.